Excuse me. Can I quit this podcast?
I told Eddie Murphy to stay in college so he'd have something to fall back on. I did great advice.
Here we go again.
You didn't tell me that we had a brand new introduction.
No, that's not the brand new.
Was that the
That's
same
same
introduction?
introduction you complained
No
about?
wonder it seemed like the
Another
same.
episode of Stand Up Memories. I am Peter Bales. This is Jackie, the joke man, Martling.
Hello.
And we have a guest who is apparently a serious professional, which makes me question how he could possibly be associated
He has
with
an
somebody
in.
like you, Jackie.
He has an in with the show. That's how he got on this show.
All right. Well, welcome Alan Fine as our guest. There he is.
Thank you, guys.
He started in stand-up comedy.
I realize the reason I'm here is to talk about the merits of stand-up comedy and how everything that has happened to me since I owe to stand-up comedy. I
Is
think
that
that's the
true?
way we
Is that really true?
No.
I think so. I'm going to present it that way, at least. I mean, I have a list here of things to talk about because my career in stand-up, usually it takes 10 years to really start to happen. At 5 years, I was starting to make some money, but then I switched over to writing screenplays where some real money was, but not the money I wanted, which was the back end money when the films get made. Nothing got made. But so I made that transition early, but I find that I use stand-up for everything. All the great moments in my life usually has to do with the ability to say something quickly or to say or say it funny, keep interest. That's a talent that you can use throughout your life.
Absolutely. And now let me tell Bales, 10 years ago, maybe a little more, Alan was doing IT and he had a client whose family owned a bunch of high-rise apartment buildings in Manhattan. And the guy's father was a nut. And one entire floor was file cabinets full of jokes that his father had painstakingly cut out of magazines and Playboy and jokes or cartoons. And it was frightening. And Alan saw this. And what am I going to do? And he called Penn Jillette from Penn and Teller. And Penn said, I don't want to deal with this. You know who you call? You call Jackie Martling. And he called me. And we've been very good friends ever since. And we did a couple weird projects together. And it's great fun. And he's just closing in on making a great movie in Ireland. And we reconnected. We shot some stuff in Manhattan that was really fun. But like so much in this business, we have great stuff. We just don't know how to make any money with it.
Well, part of this call, I didn't know if you were able to share a screen because I got a 2-minute clip of Jackie and I in Manhattan. And the project was called Reminds Me of a Joke, because this is a man that you say, hey, does this shoehorn remind you of a joke? And then out comes 10.
I love it. I love it.
We went to Little Italy. We went to the Brooklyn Bridge. We went to the Bronx Zoo. We went to Midtown. We went to Chinatown, and every place, you point at something and there's a joke about it. There just is, and we have all this footage that we'd be glad to sell you.
So can you share it? You can't share a screen, can you? Because I will give you 2 minutes.
Our producer, Michael Zinn.
Alan, do you see a share screen button on the bottom of your computer there? A little plus,
Yes, I do.
Yeah, go ahead and press that, and then that'll allow you to choose your item to share, and I can pop it up.
Okay, it was a YouTube link.
Oh, it's a YouTube link.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. If you can send it to.
We're doing this on the fly.
We're live, so you can send it, and we'll add it in to the show. But it's just not going to go out on this live version.
Right, no problem. I'll send it.
It doesn't matter.
A little backstage.
There's
Now,
like 3 people watching.
I am fascinated by Alan came on with a message or a story to tell or both about where you go after comedy. I've been doing comedy. I started in 1979 doing Jimmy Carter jokes. And by the way, I did a year in Boston in the 80s. We might know some of the same names. And we have a lot of comedians who watch this podcast. And where do you go? Some people are good with comedy forever, but where do you go? What are the options when you become a successful a comedian, I should say? Where do you go? How do you go into screenwriting? How do you go into other things?
Well, so let's not say I was successful in stand-up in that I made a few bucks here and there. I learned to go to colleges, and when they heckled you, I said, "Well, why don't you tell me a joke?" And then I'd heckle them. I learned those rules, and I was able to do that. After that, as I was selling screenplays, I'd have a lot of free time, and so I started to learn to write screenplays, and I bought computers. And then I said, "You know what? I could sell these computers." And so what ended up happening was not only did I sell them, but then I was asked by, if you remember, CompUSA to teach them because of stand-up. I could be funny about it. I could be very succinct about things, and I was able to take complicated topics and really simplify them in a funny way. And so I became a top trainer at CompUSA, and I was flying all over the country, and I was bringing 12 laptops with me and doing executives in companies. I told Jackie my favorite one was Magic Mountain. I think they sent me up to Magic Mountain, and then during lunch we went on rides. Those are the kinds of gigs. But then,
the fact, as a salesman, the fact that he could make people laugh made him invaluable. You know,
and it continues. So later, so I was doing IT. I did IT for DreamWorks and Paramount. I was Spielberg, Geffen, and Katzenberg's IT guy. And under pressure, I was always cool. When they had to go from LA to New York and talk to the parent company, Viacom, I was there. I happen to be an idiot savant with computers, so I got to do this. But the problem is, I put aside
when I met him, and he was working at Paramount with 3 or 4 or 5 of the most luscious girls I've ever seen. I don't think I heard a word he said. You know? He called me up, and I don't even know what happened to the guy with all the jokes. And did he pass away?
Yeah, he's still around. He's not doing too well, I'm sorry to say, and I haven't had a connection with him for a while.
His father's quote unquote claim to fame was his father claimed to have written the joke. You can't just say the punchline for our audience. The Jewish grandmother who takes a grandson to the beach, and a wave takes the kid out, and the kid's drowning, and he's like, "God, help me, my grandson's drowning, help me. And then a wave comes, and the kid washes back up on shore, and he's okay. And his grandmother goes, "He had a hat," which is just right. And he said his father came up with that, and that joke's been around since I've been alive. So he very well might have done that, or it might have been the first joke he ever read, who knows?
So to continue on the thesis that I'm presenting, it helps me in the pitch room. I was able to make the most money in a single afternoon by just being able to stand in a room with 3 executives and be funny and be succinct. I said to them, they said, what do you, we like what you've been writing. We like Big Top Cop, where a cop has to buddy up with a clown. He hates circuses. He hates a clown, and he has to follow the circus to find the serial killer. We like it, but we don't want to do that. What do you want to be writing right now? And I said very quickly to these 3 people, unsuspecting, I said, I want to write a story about an ambulance chasing lawyer who stops at every accident. If someone in a minority is hit by a rich lady, he'll go to the guy in the front car and say, let me help you. He's at the park with his 1-year-old. There's a sonic boom. An alien spacecraft crashes into the park. It's an accident. He goes over. And as the Air Force and the Army comes to take the craft away and the alien away, he says, wait a minute, he's my client. I don't know what language you read him his rights, but he must be read his rights. And I don't know what rights he has, animal or human. And as I'm talking, they're staring at me. And I said, do you know what I'm going to call it? They said, what? I said, inalienable rights. They said, our lawyer will call you. And so I wrote 2 drafts, and it didn't get made.
but you made nice money.
Made nice money. Yeah, but that's been my career until recently, where now I'm deciding that it's more about the deal than the screenplay, and I've grown up enough to realize I've got to be a businessman. But again, the rules are the same. I have to do elevator pitches all the time, and I truly believe that stand up is responsible for my being able to do it so as well as I've been doing.
Well, in truth, stand-up comedy is an extended elevator pitch, right? You're letting them have what you got and hoping
Well,
that the audience buys it, or the executive buys it, or the buyer buys it,
The best stand-up gets right to the punchline. I guess the best pitch gets right to the pitch without fat, without boring people.
Right. So anyway, I look at my list here. I did other things that happened because of stand-up was I was at the Improv performing, and I got scouted for the Dating Game back in the day.
This is Los Angeles.
Right. And so on YouTube, you can see this episode. And there's a funny part to this is that that was 45 years ago. They said, we need funny guys on the show. And so this was my first time on television. So it was a basket case. They told us in the green room, the more you talk, the better your chances. So I just, and I got a breakaway applause for one of my lines. The girl who was choosing between the three guys was Doug McClure's daughter, Tawny McClure.
Okay.
The punchline of this, there's two punchlines. One is that I won the date with her, and she got married. So by Chuck Barris's rules, I could go with my girlfriend, but there's insurance issues, so my girlfriend would have to sleep with the chaperone. So there was this middle-aged woman hanging around us the whole trip. The trip was real, but that was that. But the other punchline was I was just at American Film Market pitching my new films, and I look up and I see, and I had a feeling it was her, and I walked up to her. She's in the middle of a pitch, and I said, I'm your Dating Game date. And it was Tawny McClure now at AFM. She's a producer, successful producer.
Literally 40 years later?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm talking last week, we just reconnected.
Once
the business gets you, you ain't getting out.
You're not getting out. So I'm fascinated by this. You went from stand-up to not only writing screenplays. A lot of comedians write screenplays. Not many sell them, but you apparently sold them.
I've sold a couple, but now I'm not selling. Since that inalienable rights experience,
yes,
I learned that it was too expensive. And when you're a novice writer, they say write whatever you want, and you let your heart. No, I had mentors at Universal Studios. I worked with Carmen Culver, and I worked with John Hill. These are people who taught me the business first, and then make it commercial, and then pour your heart into it. And so that's what. So now I've been writing these contained, high concept comedies and thrillers that are easy to pitch, and so I think that's the difference, and that's why I was able to be successful. I think at AFM, we'll see.
Now he's got the package together. That's I don't know how much I'm allowed to say.
I don't know that it's even worth saying. It's all conjecture at this point. But I would like to tell you two funny stories with name dropping of celebrities and sort of predicaments I've gotten myself into through getting these jobs in IT at Paramount and DreamWorks. Would you be interested?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
So one story is I call it Spielberg's knees. And so I was working for a company called Pop.com, which was a spinoff that Ron Howard and Steven Spielberg were trying to do little funny shows, short pops, they called them, for the internet before anyone knew what the internet was.
Kind of like funny.com. Who did that?
Yeah. Remember the .com explosion?
Yeah, of course.
This was a part of that. I was a top IT guy there. And they said, Alan, go over there and help them out. And so while I'm there, I'm coming up with some shows and things. I came up with a thing called what the hell were they thinking? And I was taking public domain video and putting thoughts into the heads of the actors in the public domain, stuff like Plan 9 from outer space, and coming up with thought bubbles and it had to be interactive. So you click on their head, and we were doing really innovative stuff. No money coming in, all money going out. They needed another infusion of money. Paul Allen from Microsoft was one of the investors. They invite him and other investors for a big show and tell. And I want to make movies, and I feel like all these famous people are coming through. I don't even want to be a part of it. I'm going to just stay in my cubicle and wait till it's over. So suddenly there's a hand on my shoulder, and it's the CEO. He goes, "Alan, we need you." I'm like, "What?" He says, he doesn't even tell me. He goes, and he walks me, pushes me to the conference room, and he throws open the door, and I look in, and on the screen it says, "Cable not attached." The CEO is standing there like, and I look around the room so briefly, and there's Steven Spielberg, Ron Howard, Paul Allen, and I gave up at that point. I went, okay, I'm going under the table because that's where the computer was. So now I'm under there with Spielberg's knees. Also, they're talking about calling HR because the lawyer was very sexy and she had a short dress on. I'm right there with her too. So now I go over to the computer and I don't know what I'm going to do. But the CEO says, "Thank you, Alan. Thank you for doing that." Meanwhile, while he's doing that, we're going to show you something else. And he turns off the lights. And they start projecting. And now I'm in the dark and I'm feeling around. And I, like the old joke, why don't you just reboot? So I reboot. The thing comes up. I leave. I'm like, "I'm your waiter. Thanks. Eat the veal. I'm out of here." And I go back to my desk, and I was shaking. I was shaking. It was such a moment. So now I go home. I come back the next day, and they go, "Alan, they want you in HR." I'm like, "What do I do now?" So they march me off to HR, and I sit down, and the HR lady says, "Alan, we owe you a debt of gratitude. You saved us. We really want to give you money or invite you in your life."
Turned it off and turned it back on.
Yeah, well, that doesn't matter. The point is, they owe me, and we'd like to take you out to dinner or give you, but you are an outsource, and we can't give you anything other than because then you'd be an employee. So we're just going to thank you. And I said, "I will tell this story forever."
Right.
And so that's what I got out of that one.
You're sitting there with three of the world's richest people, and they can't give you a shekel.
Okay. But the other story that I enjoyed, and it's that I was in this strange position where technology hadn't yet become as it is today. I mean, if you wanted to talk to someone, video chat across the world, it took 4 phone lines slashed together. It was called an ISDN line, 4 of them. And then you would have to use certain proprietary software. So I was in charge of this because Peter Jackson in New Zealand wanted to meet Stanley Tucci in New York. And he was trying to think, could he be in Lovely Bones and could he be the villain, if you know the film? So they had me for about a week setting this thing up and getting it ready. I was invited into Peter Jackson's home several times remotely, saying hi to his family and his kids. Finally, the day comes and Stanley Tucci comes to the office, and I've been wanting to meet him. "Mr. Tucci, nice to meet you. Come on in. I have Mr. Jackson for you." So I bring him into the conference room, which I had all set up. We had food. And I said, it was the same kind of speech. "Mr. Jackson, Mr. Tucci, Mr. Tucci, Mr. Jackson. I'm your waiter. I'm done for now. Let me know when you need anything else." I close the door, and I just hear them talking for about an hour. Finally, Stanley Tucci comes out. "We're done." I said, "Thank you very much." He leaves, shut off the system. I get a nice gift from New Zealand thanking me. A year goes by, year and a half. Now invited to the red carpet for Lovely Bones. I'm walking the red carpet, and I swear it was Susan Sarandon, and I gave up. There was other stars and Stanley Tucci. And I walked up to him and
Not
said,
Doug McClure's daughter.
no.
No. Okay.
And I walked up to Stanley Tucci and I said, Stanley. And he goes, Alan? I go, yeah. I said, did you get the part? It was at his premiere. That was a good one.
That's funny.
That's beautiful.
You have given me an idea for a great.
You haven't had one since we started this
for
show.
a great movie. I haven't. Well, I got it from Alan. But how about a comedian who writes screenplays and has success selling the idea, but never do the films get made? But he's successful at making money on that. You look at him shaking his head. No, I'm not doing too well with my pitch. But
no, it's just that. Keep going.
But then he accidentally sells one, and they make him get involved, and he has no idea how to handle it when he actually sells a movie that's getting made. That's a
Jehovah's Witness.
Let's keep scatting this. Let's ad-lib this. It should be that he thinks it will make his life better, and it makes it worse.
Well, there you go. Exactly. That's yes.
It's the dog catching the car.
Oh, right. What an idea.
I'm glad I thought of it.
Well, so one of my mentors, we would have this game called the high concept pitch game. It was like a drinking and late night game, and he would take 3x5 cards and he would write on them adjectives and nouns, and then you would pick them out, and you would have to come up on the spot with, oh yes, I've been thinking about writing this for a long time, and you'd pitch on the fly a story, and then the group would
movie pitching Mad Libs.
Yes. And then you would the team, everyone else playing would grade you, and you'd have a winner. And I remember one time I was given human interest and ape, and I pitched a story of an ape that is in a think tank, and it can sign, and the head of the think tank is murdered, and they find the ape over him going, "I didn't do it. I didn't do it."
Jesus
and I won.
Alan, let me ask you, did you ever get emotionally involved in your pitches? Because it sounds like it's business and you're good at it and you want to make the sale, but did you ever get upset when the movie did not get made? Because
Inalienable Rights is the perfect example.
Okay.
It's a really good script, and all I have to show for it is if someone wants to read it, I could email it, but that's about it. It's very upsetting. Now, wait, my mentor, listen to this. He wrote a script about a rich kid who has a bodyguard. And he then called me over and said, Alan, I got to show you something. He takes out his wallet and he takes out a check for $500,000 from Warner Brothers. And he says, I want you to see this because this is a lesson in screenwriting right here. This is because they want to make Richie rich with John Hughes, and they're killing my script.
And that was a real check.
So I saw it, a real check. He put both kids through private school.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
John Hill, by the way, I want to shout out, he's gone now, and I miss him. But he wrote Quigley Down Under, Tom Selleck and Alan Rickman,
yes.
A Western in Australia, flipped. Really good movie. But he taught me high concept.
We have got to watch that.
He taught. I told you about it, right?
Yeah.
He taught me high concept. He taught me never to write a word in a script until you can see the one sheet and it's elevator pitchable. He said, "Don't even bother." And so I follow that, and I preach it, and I pay it forward when other writers I bump into ask.
What about
he does the work of 10 men? His business now.
My day job.
His day job. He has a daily. It's not a flyer, but a daily.
So everyone has to have a waiter's job, even me. But my waiter's job have always been like Steven Spielberg's knees, And this waiter's job for the last 10 years is Insider Travel Report. It is a newsletter that goes out daily to 128,000 travel advisors. I produce 2 videos for it a day and a story, and my partner produces a bunch of writing. And because of it, I fly all over the world for free, sampling luxury
And
products.
gets treated like a king.
Yeah.
Because he wants
Which is why it's taking so long for me to finally make movies. My day jobs have always been great.
You know what? I was going to ask a serious question, but the story about him being under the table,
I think there's more to it, but he's not sharing.
that was before cell phone cameras.
It actually was.
The story would have been different.
I love that. I mean, that is a comedy short. I mean, the lights going out is just too spectacular, you know.
Alan, now, for comedians watching, you're writing a movie. How is your writing affected when you're writing a movie by your stand-up experience?
It's a good question. I think some of us are better at monologue and some of us are better at dialogue, and I'm better at dialogue. And I found that acting, so that's basically improv in your head. You're improvising all the characters. But the stand-up, it's still the same. You know how the stand-up is, right? You're writing your work and you're listening for what you project the joke will be. You hope the joke, the laughter will be, and how long the beat will be. And I'm always doing that. I'm always, as I'm writing, I'm saying, okay, how long is the wait for this next line? In my writing, you'll see a lot of 3 dots, ellipses, slow down. I think that the stage time, and even if you don't have to be on stage, you can watch other stand-ups and just get used to the rhythm, because it is so musical. Stand-up is very musical. And so I think it definitely affects my writing. But again, it's dialogue. I'm writing for a comedy team, not for myself.
Right. And it's a whole feel. Timing is a whole feel. You know, it just gets ingrained in you. You know.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's a great question.
When you watch comedy movies today, do you sit there and think as you're watching, ooh, that could have been better? Ooh, they missed that one. All the time.
All the time.
I knew it.
All the time. And of course, we all sit and watch the late night comedians whom I love. And I try to predict the joke as if I wrote it.
Yeah.
And so often there's a movie or a joke I say, I wish I wrote.
Yeah, of course.
Why didn't I think of that? I've been through that a million
times. You gotta plug our place.
Oh, we gotta plug our Alan. This has been so much fun. We got a professional that somehow
we'll do this again. Our shows are very short.
Jackie, I don't know how you know a professional like this, but it's quite amazing to me.
I don't know him. He knows me.
Okay. Let me tell the audience, we are at Paradise Studios in Massapequa on Long Island.
Beautiful.
All your podcasting, any video needs, there's a whole bunch of studios here. It is great. It is our home.
Bobby is the guy.
And we're on a podcasting network called Strong Island TV. And
we are Stand Up Memories.
Our show is Stand Up Memories. And
on YouTube, is it more stand-up memories?
No, I think it's just, people don't want more. They just want stand-up memories.
Is it less stand-up?
It's less stand-up memories. And I you know what? I'm going to plug a show. Alan, you ready for this?
Yeah.
I am still plugging comedy gigs right here on Long Island. I'm going to be December 3rd at Sonny's Canal.
How'd you get that gig?
In Baldwin. Well, everybody's got to have a waiter stop. This is a great place. It's right on the water, and there are 4 terrific comedians. 3 and me, let's put it that way. And comedy survives.
I am no longer embarrassed by my gig at Muggs Sports Bar and Grill in Clearwater, Florida.
Well, I'm gonna appear in the kitchen for a snack later, and then gonna go to bed. Everyone's welcome to that.
Oh, and this is going out live. I'm at Catch a Rising Star in the Princeton Hyatt in Princeton, New Jersey, this Saturday night at 7:30 with my pal Rich Harkaway. And I just found out that my book has been selling because I've been doing so many podcasts. So if you want to get my book, it's The Joke Man Bow to Stern on Amazon Prime. And Alan, we'll have you back. Or
let me plug you some more. I liked your book with you reading it. You have an audio book, do you not?
Yeah, the audio version. A lot of people said they liked that because it's like when you're in the car. It's like I'm on the radio again, which is great fun. So,
Alan, I'd like you to pitch a movie that did not get made, and plug it.
Okay.
What's the one that got away?
No, the one that got away was Inalienable Rights, but the one that I will. Whoops, what's happening?
You got to pay that bill. I think your key light.
I'm still on, right?
There we go. Yeah, you're on. We got you.
All right, so I can pitch you these are the projects I'm working on now. It didn't get away. These are the ones I want to do.
Okay.
So one's called The Catalyst. It's about a family that begins to realize that every household accident you can't avoid. Accidents will happen. Triggers a haunting. People are getting killed. They're afraid to leave their house. It's the reason they don't leave the haunted house, because if you knock something over, it could kill you.
That great film you showed me, that's not online or anything.
The short that won the awards for that?
Yeah.
That's not online. No, that you were privileged to that. That's one. The other one is a father and a grown son haven't talked in 10 years. The father wishes they could do it over again. But in life, you really can't do it over again. He can. The son is in a terrible car accident. He has amnesia, can't remember anything. The doctors say to the lovable rogue of a father, can you help him remember and get his memory back? And he goes, yeah, I think I can. And he starts to tell the past as he wished it had been, with him as the world's greatest father, until the son realizes what a dick he was.
That's
a good idea.
With the right actor, that's an incredible concept.
But you see, I'm always going for high concept, short, easy to pitch, easy to produce. It's just a few characters.
Okay.
Well, I got to quick write that down and steal it.
Alan, just don't forget that, we got to work together on this movie about the comedian who
gets his wish,
and then to his surprise, his life falls apart. I have the title. Ready? Lights, Camera, Action, Not.
Don't you have a comedy class?
I do have a comedy class.
What about the joke about the screenwriter who can't get an idea for the life of him? He's going to lose his house, going to lose everything. I have a couple of showbiz jokes. He can't get, and then suddenly one night he hears typing coming from the basement. He goes down and there's a monkey typing, and it says the end, and he hands him the script, and he reads it. This is pretty good. Hands it to his agent. We're going to cut because we're running out of time. Huge hit, smash. Where have you been? And now it's like, where's the next script coming from? And we do it 3 times. The monkey's typing. Holy crap. Oh, another big hit. 3rd time, monkey's typing. I'm really shortening it. And the monkey looks up the 3rd time and says, do you think this time I could get a little screen credit? And the writer says, fuck you.
Right. The muse. That's
one. And my other favorite joke is the producer and the writer in a desert, and they need water so badly, and they think they see an oasis. The writer stumbles. He gets there. There's water. He's drinking. And then suddenly while he's drinking, there's a yellow stream on his shoulder and down into the water. And he looks up, and the producer is pissing. And he says, what are you doing? He goes, I'm making it better.
I never heard that. And that's great.
If Jackie says he never heard it, that's a victory.
I'm shocked.
I'm shocked too. Alan Fine, you have been great. I'm sure you're. I had to say this before we leave. You've been hearing it all your life. You're not related to the great Larry.
I have a brother named Larry Fine who likes Larry Fine.
Okay,
that's ironically cool. I have.
I knew there was a connection. Thank you so much.
And not a total coincidence. Peter's pubic hair is curly.
Jackie can always bring a podcast down at the end.
And that's my job. Alan, I will see you very soon. And tell the people in podcast land, stay tuned forever. Right? Bales?
Oh, I was
talking to you.
I'm sorry. I was looking at Alan.
Sleeping.
I'm looking at Alan.
Goodbye, everybody.
Thinking of my next.
Happy trails. See you. I'll talk to you.
Thank you.